I'm Joe Yarbrough, the president of the Carpet and Rug Institute. Joe, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you as well, Dave. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
It's always great having you on. I appreciate your time. Now, we're here because the CRI just announced the updating of CRI 104-105 residential and commercial carpet standards. Bring us up to date on what this update is all about and the specifics.
Okay, Dave, I'll do the best I can to give you that update. As you're well aware, the Carpet and Rug Institute has published for decades the CRI 104-105 standards for commercial and residential carpeting. The last time that those standards were refreshed and updated by CRI was back in about 2011. There have been a number of innovations and just a myriad of new products that have been introduced by our industry over that time, and both in the residential and commercial arena. And we believe that it was time once again to refresh those standards and to update them so that they address the changes that have occurred with products in the industry. And also another very important aspect of our change is that, or of our update rather, is that we have introduced a planning and development concept so that whether it's a bedroom in a single residential home or a multi-thousand square foot installation in a commercial project, prior planning and the preparation of that project is obviously a very key element to having a successful quality installation. So in our new updated standard, we address the necessity for and some tips on how to deal with the planning aspects of a good project.
Now, the focus of a standard like that, is it a how-to? Is it setting out exactly what should happen? Talk about the focus of what a standard like this should be.
Okay, well, first of all, this standard is a very fundamental, basic guideline for the most fundamental steps that are necessary. Use an athletic term, this time of year football season's coming around, blocking and tackling, okay? So the idea of this standard is to be addressing those most fundamental elements of carpet installation. And of course there are many varieties of issues that relate to all the myriad of products that we produce, from modular tiles to broadloom residential or commercial. The idea is that this document is a very concise document that provides those most fundamental ideas about how products should be installed. The other thing that the document is clear about is that recognizing that a manufacturer's product that has very specific or unique installation requirements, this document is superseded by those specific recommendations by a manufacturer for how that specific product needs to be dealt with. So it's not intended to be able to answer every single question about every single product, but it is to provide those very fundamental details and elements of what it takes to have a successful carpet installation. Because at the end of the day, all of our goals in this industry is to make sure that the consumer, whether it be a housewife, a family, a commercial installation, a facility manager, that at the end of the day, for a long period of time, that consumer is satisfied and happy with that decision to have selected soft floor covering versus an alternative.
I gotcha. Now, will this be an ANSI standard?
No, this is not an ANSI standard.
I see. Now, in your announcement, you said this was developed by industry leaders. Talk a little bit about that, the people that were involved in it.
Well, of course, as you know, the Carpet and Rug Institute is made up of numerous representatives that make up our membership. We reached out not only to those technical experts within the manufacturers, but we also reached out to retailers, to other installers who are focused on the product. We've had testing laboratories involved and other experts. And the idea was to have a good cross-section of engagement and a diverse engagement of those who are interested in this process and have made contribution to the facts that are published in our new document.
Okay. Now, I noticed that there was a quote on the press release you sent out. There was a quote from Jim Walker, who is listed as the president of the American Floor Covering Institute. Did he play a role in this, and is he going to be playing a role going forward?
We expect so. The relationship with Jim is one that we've enjoyed for lots of years. We respect him as the founder of CFI, and we believe that his experience and his expertise is valued not only by the Carpet and Rug Institute and our members, but also by the installation community across the country. So we have asked Jim to provide his expertise and input into the language of the standards. We've also asked him to be involved in how that information is presented so that it's clear and well understood in a concise document by an installer. Additionally, I mentioned to you earlier and haven't said it here, our intent is to have this document not only available in a printed handbook form, but also to offer it as a download off of our website, and a document that could be accessed through our website and or downloaded on a personal electronic device like a cell phone or a tablet, so that it's easily referenced when someone's in the field and they've got a question. They can easily reference it with a computer, with a telephone that's in their pocket or a tablet.
Okay.
Our additional objective is to include video how-tos that could be embedded in that electronic form. Obviously, a printed form is not going to be able to be accessed in that same way, only through the electronic media. But Jim would be instrumental in working with us with the how-to and troubleshooting kind of videos,
doing the
that
videos and so on. Yeah.
That we anticipate embedding into our electronic version of this document.
So then potentially an installer out on the job site has a particular problem or a hurdle he has to clear, he can take out his phone, watch that video, and then solve the problem right there.
Well, we would think that it would provide a 3 to 5 minute how to troubleshoot or how to deal with a particular thing that the installer might not run into every day, but in a particular thing he would be able to see how some guidance of how to deal with that particular issue and do it very quickly. So those have not yet been developed, but they're part of our process of enhancing and improving this standard.
That's a good idea. You had talked about the proper planning and subfloor treatment. Is that a big problem, do you think?
Well, I think it's a big issue. Many times products are installed, let's just take for example a concrete slab, and depending on how long that slab may have cured, the moisture content could be an issue with successful installation of either a modular tile or broadloom product on that concrete slab. The new standard addresses certain general conditions that the substrate needs to meet in order to expect to have a successful installation.
I see. What are your expectations? How do you think 104, 105 are going to be viewed? And I'm saying this because we all know that there is another standard, the S600 standard out there. How do you think these will be viewed?
Well, I can tell you that, as the Carpet and Rug Institute and the Trade Association for the manufacturers of the product, we have worked with all of our member companies, and to the CEO level of all of these companies, they believe that the gold standard for installation should be referenced as CRI 104, 105. So you will see from all of the mill manufacturers the support for and the respect for CRI 104, 105 being the gold standard for their reference for proper and effective carpet installation.
And they refer to it then in their copy, in their pamphlets and brochures and so on.
Yes, that would expect to be continued, with the new standard.
I see. Now, the S600, talk about the differences between these two works. Are there great differences? Do they broach things in one that they don't in another?
Well, without getting into too much detail with our limited time, the CRI 104, 105 standard is a very concise document. It focuses on the technical details of basic carpet installation and how that installation should be conducted. It also, as I said, references the supersedence, if you will, of the manufacturer-specific instructions for a particular product. It's not intended to get into other business elements or conversation about, where a defibrillator ought to be placed in a, in a job installation. It's focused on carpet installation and the technical aspects of what needs to be done to effectively and correctly install a piece of carpet for the long-term benefit of the consumer.